What I love about videos like these are they're here to help everyone. It's not just mixers, it's not just singers, it's not just producers, it's all of the above, and there is nothing that sounds worse than having a song that has a great mix with really thin sounding vocals on it, am I right? Well, we're gonna punch those vocals up today, and by the end of this episode, you're gonna have a ton of tips for how to make your vocals sound more full. So what's happening, fam? Miami here with JST, and today I want to help you with an issue I always had as a vocalist. Making your vocals thick enough that they are the focal point of the song, or at least can be. You know, you can always turn them down if that's not the objective. But when you don't have vocals that fill up a decent amount of the frequency spectrum, lack depth, or aren't spread in the stereo field, you tend to have some super thin sounding vocals like this.
You drown me in silence, yeah, I promised you the world, but you turned your back. This heartache is violent, but every time you come around, I let you right back, let you right back, let you right back.
Now, the first thing you can do to fix a thin vocal is EQ it, obviously, right? But fixing a thin vocal doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be full or thick. It just means that it's not thin anymore. It just goes into this neutral category, but that's fine for starters. Let's EQ this vocal to be a bit more balanced.
You drown me in silence, yeah, I promised you the world, but you turned your back. This heartache is violent, but every time you come around, I let you right back, let you right back, let you right back. Every time you come around, I let you right back. You never wanted that, I know it's all an act. Every time you come around, I let you right back. I can't stay away and you know it.
Awesome. Now we have something to actually work with, but this allows us to go on with the mission of making it full. Now I'm gonna show you multiple ways to go from here. We're gonna start by using our second topic, a vocal double. And if you don't usually work with vocal doubles, I'll show you in a second, but the biggest issue with why vocal doubles don't make your vocals sound more full is because it isn't time aligned. Now, time aligning vocals makes them sound more full because the large variances in pitch and time that create a chorus effect don't necessarily make a vocal feel fuller. When you tighten the double up, you'll have your punchiest sounding vocal, and that's whether you do it manually, use revoice, or Vocaline. Let's just show the difference in a timed versus untimed vocal right now.
But every time you come around, I let you right back, let you right back, let you right back. Every time you come around, I let you right back. You never wanted that, I know it's all an act. Every time you come around, I let you right back. But every time you come around, I let you right back, let you right back, let you right back. Every time you come around, I let you right back. You never wanted that, I know it's all an act. Every time you come around, I let you right back.
See how much fuller that vocal sounded being tidied up like that? Now, one thing you have to be careful of when doing doubles this tight is the S's start becoming overwhelming. Sibilants usually build, so check regularly in between editing. Wait, check that again. Sibilants usually build, so check regularly in between editing. And that, my friends, was a sneaky transition to get you to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course, leave a like if you're enjoying the content. My transition game is still crazy. So now that we've shown you what to do when you have a vocal double, let's show you what to do when you don't. Number 3. Using a doubler. This is one of the easiest ways to make a vocal sound thicker or more full. When you can control the amount of voices, rate, and timing, it's pretty easy to make a double not deviate too far from the original signal, which results in a dense sounding vocal. For this example, I'll be using Howard Benson Vocal Multiplier, but you can use what suits you best. Take a listen to see how much fatter this vocal sounds with just a couple twists of a knob.
You drown me in silence, yeah, I promised you the world, but you turned your back. This heartache is violent, but every time you come around, I let you right back, let you right back, let you right back. Every time you come around, I let you right back. You never wanted that, I know it's all an act. Every time you come around, I let you right back. I can't stay away and you know it.
Now, that's a very easy way to get your vocals sounding less tinny and thin. If you loved how simple that was and how it sounded, make sure to grab your free trial of Howard Benson Vocal Multiplier by heading to the link in the description. Let's make some music, people. But back to the concept of doublers. These are things to do after the vocal is already recorded. What if there was something you could do during the tracking stage, even if you had a nasally singer that could make this a lot simpler than touching an EQ? Number 4, using the proximity effect to your advantage. And another way of saying that is stand closer to the microphone. Yeah, this is based off what we call the proximity effect. The The closer you are to the microphone, the more low end you're going to be hearing, and this is based off of phase in the diaphragm of the microphone. Anytime that I've ever dealt with someone in a tracking session that didn't have a full sounding voice, I've simply told them to just stand closer to the mic, and it solved the issue. Especially when people sound like this. Let me show you an example of me singing with a nasally voice about 6 inches away from a microphone and then right up on it. You'll notice the difference between the two examples pretty drastically.
And if I stand outside, I'll be waiting for you all night. And if I stand outside, I'll be waiting for you all night. And if I stand outside, I'll be waiting for you all night.
And that's a way to fix this before it ever gets to the source. But there's one really big reason why a vocal just won't sound full no matter what you do. If it doesn't fill up enough of the frequency spectrum, it's not gonna sound or feel full enough to cut through in the entire mix. So how do we fix this issue? That brings us to number 5, adding a higher or lower octave of the same take. By adding a higher or lower octave of the same take and tucking it underneath, you take up a lot of space in the frequency range. But since it's the same performance, it acts as an extension of the main vocal instead of just effect. Let me show you in a mix how much of a difference can be added to the fullness of a vocal by just adding the octave. And I'll be using Howard Benson Vocal Multiplier once again, since it has a really cool low octave feature built in just for this purpose. You could use something like Pitch Shifter from Waves, but I notice I get a lot of artifacts when I use that one. Anyways, let's take a listen.
You drown me in silence. Yeah, I promised you the world, but you turned your back. This heartache is violent, but every time you come around, I let you right back. Let you right back, let you right back. Every time you come around, I let you right back. You never wanted that, I know it's all an act. Every time you come around, I let you right back. I can't stay away, and you know it.
You'll notice this technique is used a lot in pop and rap, but I've been hearing it get used a lot more in active rock and metal as of late. I promise you won't be disappointed trying that one out, and if your vocalist has a much lower voice, try doing a higher octave if you feel that it's necessary. So let's go over all of these one more time. We talked about EQing, timing your real vocal double, artificial vocal doublers, standing closer to the microphone or the proximity effect, and adding a higher or lower octave of the same take. If you've tried all of these and somehow still feel like you're having a thin sounding vocal, well, I think it might be time to retract completely, my friend. These are some surefire ways to fix issues that you have when your vocal just isn't hitting right. Like I said, as a vocalist, this is one of my biggest fears whenever I'm tracking or working on a mix. I know how intently people will be listening for a good vocal performance, and if that vocal performance doesn't hit as impactfully as it's meant to, then we as mixers haven't done our job. And people are never gonna blame the vocal for this, especially if their takes sound really good. It's always gonna fall on the mixer, so just have some tricks up your sleeve to fix this if it's ever an issue. Who am I kidding? It's going to be an issue at some point, so just familiarize yourself with this stuff. Your ears and the people you send your stuff to for feedback are going to thank you. Do you feel like I missed anything? Do you use any of these in your day-to-day workflow? Leave it in the comments below and I will chat with you fine people, like I always do. If you're an engineer on the come up, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, you only have to do it one time, and tap that bell for notifications so when a video drops, you know the location. Until next time. Yo, do you actually have an SM57 here?
Yeah.
Dope. Mic drop. Except as engineers we know, I'd never really drop this thing because it get really expensive, but I really wouldn't drop this one because it's my friend's. You know, even if it is a piece of shirt. Catch you guys later.